Okay, so the way I've split this program up is that I've focused on different aspects of the whole for each drill. Of course, when you want to do it properly, you want to do everything at the same time. But that's also the problem because everybody tries to do everything at the same time. There are 10,000 requirements and 10,000 things you need to get right at the same time that everybody gets confused. So what I've done is I've split key aspects up of internal martial arts and Kung Fu so that you could get them bit by bit. And as you progress on, you could put, say, lesson 1 and 3 into lesson 3, 4, and 5. And then you could put lesson 3, 4, and 5 back into lesson 1, 2, and 3. For example, this round, I'm going to talk about a method to train the Kwa, or generating power from the Kwa through the legs. The first section, I also mentioned the Kwa, but I glossed over it slightly because the main thing of the first movement for me for now, and for you guys, was to train the leg power, finding the leg power, finding the power from the push, finding the power from the pull, and that was the main thing. But of course, you also had to pay attention to the Kwa. But for this one, I'm going to mainly focus on Kwa grinding, or grinding the Kwa so that you could learn to generate power from the Kwa. So where's the Kwa? Everybody's confused. So in terms of anatomy, the Kwa would be the pelvis and the groin area. And the waist, or the U, because people always mix up the U and the Kwa. Different styles also mention it differently. But anyways, for most styles, the U is from the pelvic bone to say around here. So if you move, if I'm like this, I don't move my pelvis, but I turn this, and I'll be using my U leg. This is common in a lot of southern styles, but the Kwa will be the pelvis. So when I'm moving the pelvis as well, then that's the Kwa. Of course, there are many ways to move the pelvis. There is turning, there's up and down, there's sinking. So there's a bunch of things that you do with the pelvis to generate power. But one of the key aspects that you need to know is to open it first. Okay, time for another Chinese concept. The term open doesn't only mean to stretch, because we use the phrase hoi or kai, which means to open, if it's a direct translation. But to open doesn't just mean to spread, it also means to activate. And it also means to activate the ability of. And it also may mean to achieve an understanding. For example, Huiming is understanding, or some other Buddhist thing. But anyways, so to open the Kwa, or Kai Kwa, or Hoi Kwa, isn't just to stretch, because that's what gymnasts do. We stretch it, but we also need to control it, and we also need to control it in the Kung Fu way to generate power. And this is what this drill is for. Okay, so that was the intro. For this session, the drill is very simple, because we want to keep things simple so everybody could pick it up. Remember in the first part of Ban, I mentioned the Dong Zhao Ha Yun, or the Dang Zhou Xia Hu, Dang Zhou Xia Yuan. We're going to focus on it now. And the way we focus on it is very simple. We're going to stand in a quasi horse stance. You put your hands on here, you put your hands on here, put your hands on here. We'll use the hands later. So what you want to do is you start off with weight a bit towards here, keeping your body straight. And then you're going to just dip slightly and then come here. You're going to dip again. Shift. So maybe 70-30. We're going to ignore everything else and just talk about the perineum and the Kwa. So you're doing this, you're penduluming. 1, 2, 3. So you're not turning the waist. To generate power, you turn the waist. But for now, we're focusing on the Kwa. You're keeping your body as a block. So 1, only focusing on the Kwa as a whole. And then as you get used to it, for example, people who are really flexible, they could go really low. But it's okay if you don't also. So 1, 2, 1. So sink, push across, and then up slightly. Sink, push across, up slightly. You see how, as I'm guiding you with my hand, it already looks a bit like some Tai Chi movements? It could be anything. It could be this. It could be this. It could be this. It could be anything you want. Because right now, we're focusing on the Kwa. So we're going to slowly grind it. So as you breathe, treat this as, imagine yourself as a pendulum. 1, 2, but never at any point do you stand completely straight. So 1, 2, 3. So remember the intent. You keep your legs on the floor and then you grind this way. So later on, when you get better, you can take a lower stance. And then from the lower point, you grind this way. 1, 2, and then just up slightly. Remember, don't turn. Don't lean, don't turn. 1, 2. And then eventually you can either spread your legs wider or narrow, it doesn't matter. So you sink, and then you... So people talk about sinking this quad and that quad, right? But for now we focus on the perineum and drawing that circle, because naturally over time, you'll open up these joints as well. For example, when I go this way, I will sink this joint. But because I'm visualizing this, and then as I'm here, oh, it's here. And then I come up. And then I sink this joint, and then I push, and I come up. But it's too complicated for now. So all you do is focus on your pelvis, on the perineum, and just draw a U with the perineum. 2, 3, 4. Because eventually, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. This is all from the quad. But first you have to be able to open it first. And remember, to open is to activate, not necessarily just stretch. So give it a go. Okay, so for this session, we're going to combine the quad movement with some upper body movements. We're not going to really generate power yet, but we want to be able to learn to train the legs to control the quad so that the power comes to the hand or whatever part we want to go to. So in reality, you could use any movement you want. You could use any style. This would benefit you if you're doing Tai Chi, if you're doing Xing Yi, if you're just doing weights. It doesn't matter because we're just trying to combine the movements to create an efficient kinetic chain. So for this one, I've chosen a couple movements. You could pick and choose as you want. Remember, the main focus is on the quad. No matter what you do, focus on drawing that U with the perineum, okay? We could ignore all the other things for now because this is, again, the main focus of this section of the challenge. You're gonna get into a horse stance-ish thing. Remember, I told you because of anatomical differences, some people might flare out more, some people might put their toes in more. It's okay. Just take whatever's comfortable. Just make sure you're not standing like that. So, a quick reminder of the movement is you start off in a shallow stance, shift, say 70% weight to one side, and then you're gonna draw a U. So if I exaggerate, you're gonna keep everything straight and you're gonna draw a U. So for this movement, I'm gonna do a variation of cloud hands or wan sao because it's simple. So you're just gonna shift the weight here and then put this hand up. You could do it without turning your body too, for now, because we're focusing on the quad. So sink, it helps you sink, and then shift your weight. Shift, right? So this isn't exactly wan sao. This isn't exactly cloud hands, okay? This is just me waving my hands around and trying to coordinate with the quad. So when people look at you, or when you look at this and think, no, what kind of cloud hands he's doing? It doesn't matter. For example, I could be doing a punch, one, and this isn't the Chen style punch. This is any old punch you want. So you sink, and then you come up. Relax, sink. See, if you want to generate power, you just use this, boom, one, boom. But for now, you sink and stretch. Sink and stretch. So draw the U, sink. So I chose these two because they're very simple. As you get better, you go deeper. Remember, this is about grinding the quad. It's not about getting really good at generating power. So I want you to sink lower. It's okay if you can't go low, but just grind this way. 1, and then 2, and then 3. You see how I'm going? 4 and 5. So you could go as low as you want or as shallow as you want. Okay, so that was cloud hands. We're gonna do the punch as well. So What punch you do doesn't matter. You could do the vertical punch, you do the horizontal punch. Remember just to draw the U. So as you're here, you sink and then you turn. You sink and you turn. It's okay if you just do this too, for now, because you're just training the qua. Remember, we're not training the perfect punch. So sink and then push. Sink, push, sink, push, sink, push. And then as you get lower, sink, stretch more, sink. This is not Chen Style's punch. There are so many requirements to that, I don't even want to talk about it. This is just grinding the qua. So as you get lower, you can do that. 2, 3. And then I'll repeat cloud hands again. So sink, across, sink, across. Draw the U. This is the only thing you want to focus on. Draw the U. Across. Sink, draw the U. Draw the U. Draw the U. So when you do this at home, for this section, all I want you to do is grind your qua for, say, 20 to 30 times, and then choose one movement. It could be cloud hands, it could be the punch, it could be just doing this. It doesn't matter. So choose one movement and go from high to as low as you can, or even less. And do it, I don't know, 10 to 20 times, and just progress bit by bit every week. So give it a try. See you next lesson. Okay, so we're following up with the qua movement again. Remember, you only want to worry about this at this point in time. It trains the leg because, as you've known, as you probably felt already from the past 2 sessions, that you need a lot of leg power, but you also need a lot of leg coordination. But anyways, we're going to do a little follow along now, a short one, but you could add to your daily training. You could add the first part, the ban, to this qua grinding, and then you could combine them together and see how you feel. So, and then at the end, I'm going to show you how to generate a bit of power from this with different movements. So let's go. So this could also act as a warm-up. So you get in a horse stance and you just start drawing the U. So you shift 70% weight here, draw the U, come to here. Remember, don't completely straighten. So draw the U like that. 1, 2. So breathe in, breathe out. So I know a lot of people want to add the dantian and the chest and the weight. It doesn't matter for now. Get one thing done first. If you get one thing done well, then the other things will come. But if you worry about all the things at the same time, nothing will come. So right now we're worrying about the qua. I'm teaching a way to open the qua. To open means to open it up, to open the understanding, and to activate it so you could move it and use it. You see, as I'm going lower, you should come lower too. So breathe in and then relax into here, and then across, and then again, across, and then across. And then you can widen your stance a little bit as you flatten out and just do it. The U is almost minimal. You see, 1, 2, 1. Okay, you don't have to do all this waving thing for now. Just keep yourself as a block. 1, 2, 1. So you should feel this opening up. You're pushing from the legs and just relaxing into it. So if you can't push from the legs, ignore it. Just see how you can relax into this, and then into this, and then into this. So we're going to do 5 more. So 1, 2. Remember, you're moving into relaxation. So each movement, you're relaxing into it. 4 and 5. Okay, stand up. Give your legs a little shake. And then we're going to combine the slow movement. Okay, for this part, we're going to pick one simple movement, either cloud hands or the punch. I'm going to do both with you. So start off high and focus just on drawing the U. So in terms of the classics, people would say the downwards U will be balanced by the upwards arc of the arms, which is where the movements of a lot of Tai Chi and internal arts comes. Yin and yang, right? You draw the full circle. If you're, well, I mean, it's an argument because If you do, everything goes down like that, then it's also a way to generate power, right? Oh, but if you want balance, then something has to come up when something goes down. So you could really do anything you want. Just learn the Kwa movement. So sink, and then go across, grind, and then slowly get lower. There's no need to go completely flat if you don't want to. And then come back up. But when you come up, make sure you're drawing the circle after you come up. So 5 more. 1, 2, 3. So as you get better, you could keep low and do it. It'll completely open up the Kwa. So this is the Wanzhao. So we're going to start high again. Just put 70% weight here. You could do any fist you want. You could even do a palm. It doesn't matter at all. Shift. Remember, it's the U and the punch. U, punch. Draw the lower arc. Punch. Lower. Again, keep flat now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate different ways to use the Kwa to generate power. There's no rush for you. There's no need for you to do this yet. I will start with the To or To from Xingyi. Even if I do a very low sense, I could use the Kwa. 1, 2, boom. Or if I just use the cloud hands or the punch, watch, sink. I suggest if you pick one, pick the punch. Sink. Then there's also this movement. So you're going to grind the Kwa, grind, 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 grind. You could even do this. Grind. So learning body mechanics gives you a chance to do everything, because the body mechanics, or the Shenfa, is what's behind every movement in internal martial arts. So give it a try. Hey guys, so I started a Patreon recently. Go take a look, see if you like it. Hey guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And follow my socials if you haven't already.